Tito Machado, CEO of DUPR. Your story is what the Sport Businessman podcast was built for, building the future of pickleball. It is an honor to be hosting you on the Sport Businessman podcast.
I'm super excited to be here, man. This is. I definitely feel part of the industry, and I feel like I've gone through all of the struggles of anyone else that's gone through the industry. So it feels like the perfect podcast for me, for sure.
Splendid. So, thank you for joining us today. We find it interesting to learn how pickleball is growing so fast, how you entered the growth of pickleball when it was in its early days, and the founder story of what led to building DUPR. So, to begin with, can you please introduce us? How did your story into founding DUPR begin?
Yeah, man. So listen, I am a tennis player by trade. I came to the US to play college tennis. So, I was kind of a little lost in New York, coaching tennis. I got recruited randomly without any past experience in the technology world to work at UTR, the tennis rating. It was the platform supported by Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic, and that was kind of like a click moment in my life, right? Like going from coaching 10 hours a day on the court to pack your bags, go to Silicon Valley, go to the hub of the tech world, meet people from Facebook, Meta, like whatever company was around, be live in Stanford, and that kind of truly kind of made my brain explode, right? I knew I wanted to innovate. I knew I wanted to be a business person, kind of like finding an idea and pursuing it. And late 2021, I heard about this thing called Pickleball. I got a call from someone who was building Major League Pickleball and wanted to bring celebrities and build a platform around it. So I dropped my cozy, Silicon Valley job to go into full startup mode and go and build DUPR with Gio Braverman, who was my former boss at UTR. And honestly, it all kind of happened. I didn't know what Pickleball was. I just knew that this was my chance to start something fresh from the beginning and be at the top of an innovation within a sport. So I took the chance, I took the gamble. We didn't even know if pickleball was going to be what it is today. But man, it exploded, and we were part of that beginning, and we were at the right time, right place to execute on it.
Splendid. So today you're building the global standard rating system for pickleball through DUPR, Dynamic Universal Pickleball Rating. It's used by more than 1 million players, 4,000 clubs, and in 150 plus countries. But when when you mentioned that you had left your job in Silicon Valley to go launch this new venture, and when DUPR was effectively like a concept deck and it was in pre-product mode, what made it interesting for the investors that backed the ventures and also the product to start being built? What were your first steps as an entrepreneur to start scaling and building your vision?
And I think the people that were behind the money at Duper from the beginning had something very in common. They had seen the light within the pickable community, right? They had seen that, oh my God, something sticky is happening. So again, it all comes with a right time, right moment, and momentum, right? When these investors, people in sports, people starting to see that this thing is starting to really shape up. It's a snowball process. Like they're starting to play, communities are growing. It was a little bit of a mockery at the beginning, right? It was a little bit of like a joke of a sport that no one was like pickleball. It's like it's so weird. But the beauty of this is like these people were seeing things that other people were not. So at the beginning was the vision and the mission. It was kind of like pretty easy. There is no infrastructure in the sport. No one has built anything in this sport. So if we are the first and this sport actually hits, it's a safe gamble. So when putting these decks together, when talking to the investors, when talking to new team owners to come in, and so on, listen, we were selling on the vision of the sport, not that much on the technology, but it was like, listen, this sport is gonna hit, and no one else is doing what we're doing. So if the sport actually hits, we have like the leading position to be the biggest and most used platform in the game.
And when you talked about being sticky in the beginning, what made what makes pickleball sticky?
Yeah, man. Listen, it's
I want to know
community,
more.
right? I mean, yeah, it's the community. One of the big things. It's a lot of factors, like every other product in the world, right? Like it's as I always come back to timing, right? We just come out of COVID, right? People couldn't be outside. Pickleball was socially distanced, so and people were locked for 2 years or a year and a half, right? So they're coming in, and now this park kind of court is packed with people that are just kind of like playing this fun little racket sports, but most importantly, it's creating community and it's giving people a place to be at, to go at. So pickleball is not like other sports that is like, top of the pyramid down, right? Like football. Like I grew up playing football, grew up playing tennis. Like you always dreamed of being, Messi, or you dream of being Roger Federer, or so on. Pickleball was more like, I'm just having fun with my friends. I'm just going to the park and playing football, right? And I'm just meeting people, and now I make friends. Like it was very similar to honestly what I lived growing up and the way I made friends. Growing up, I went to a park, I played football, and I met everyone, and I made friends with those people. That was happening post COVID in the US. And then again, the sport just kept growing. Like now we started seeing that, oh my God, there is a way to monetize this. And we went from 0 to 36 million players in a period of 3 years, turning into the fastest growing sport in the world. So it's very tough to pin the stickiness. I just think that all of the pieces of the puzzle got together at the right time, right place, and we were there to execute on it.
Splendid. So, and before we get dive into, the business model of DUPR, how it was developed, and the commercial architecture of the business, we find it interesting to learn if you mentioned that pickleball at the start there was no infrastructure, and Duper was the first solution for infrastructure in this space. Now that Duper is built, what do you think that new opportunities for developing infrastructure for the game of pickleball can be for the amateur level, but also for the pro level?
Listen, the most important thing is like we're at like any business or any industry, we're at a very exciting type of maturity, right? You have like that like wave, boom, where pickleball is just growing and it turns into a gold rush. We see that a lot in the business industry lately, right? You see that with crypto, you see that with so many different spaces where shiny pennies call attention. Everyone goes into an industry because it's a gold rush. They're trying to be the first, and now we're finally at the place where maybe the bubble has burst. And people think bubble bursting is a negative thing. I don't think it's a negative thing. It's a maturity thing, right? Like you might not want to have 35 clubs in Atlanta Metro. Maybe you don't need 35 clubs, right? Maybe you need 15 really good clubs instead of 35. So now we're starting to see the first layer of businesses that were built, right? Going away. And now we're starting to see the leaders really emerge, right? That doesn't mean that there is no space for innovation. It just means like you can be very specific about different categories and selecting how are you gonna, embed the sport, right? Like, do you want to be a paddle company? There's 120 paddle companies out there right now because of the gold rush. Maybe it's not the right industry, but it's like, it's about how are you innovating within the sport to make sure the sport keeps growing. That's the key aspect. And listen, I think there are many good ideas. Technology on the court side, technology on the ball side. I think the technology side within the phone, the app side of Pickleball is a little saturated right now. But again, like everything, it's about finding the right problem to solve. And if the person who does that is a blank canvas, you can honestly, you really use the 60 million players playing globally right now as a massive opportunity to win the space.
So, do you from Duper, do you also collect user feedback I mean, new technologies that can be developed or uh, new infrastructure ideas that can be developed from the feedback that's collected from the users?
Yeah, man, 100%. Because like we've built a business out of doing collaboration with other technology platforms. Modern technology it's about doing one thing very well. The times of like doing a million things, like back in the day, like 10 years ago in Silicon Valley, like companies try to be everything within that industry. I think focus is one of the key aspects of modern success. So the beauty of DUPR is that we decided that we were gonna be what we are, the rating and the infrastructure of the sport. So we were gonna work with every courts booking system, right? With the Playtomics, with the play-by-points, with the core research of the world. We're going to integrate with them. We're going to go to all of the event management software, right? Like the tournament software. We're going to integrate with them. So we've built a sticky business by integrating with over 300 platforms. This is very important, right? Because we are the exclusive rating of 300 platforms that they all do different things. Some of them are meetup, like social, like let's go at the park and play. Some of them are tournaments. Some of them are booking. Some of them are wherever you can imagine. We are the rating. So the cool thing about what we've done is like we made everyone else in the industry agree that there is only one player in the rating space, and that's us. And that we are going to learn from everything else what is working on the industry. So that's why we're able to understand, hey, what is going to work, what is working right now, what is the right thing, what kind of community technology is working. So all of those things we've done it through integrations.
Thank you for this breakdown. It was very simple to understand, and and very useful for understanding how how DUPR makes money and what is the business model of the platform, being the official partner to more than 300 platforms. So since you are the rating system for over 300 platforms in the space, could you break down what are the revenue streams to this day for DUPR, and what were the initial ones, and eventually also some new long-term ones that you look to develop and can be developed?
Yeah, man. I mean, listen. This is the beauty of a startup, and we don't consider ourselves a startup anymore. We're at that much more maturity stage. But at the beginning, you throw so many things at the wall, right? You're just trying to figure out what is the thing that is going to be sticky for you to be able to monetize, and you're just trying new things. So at the beginning, we were like, hey, maybe we're a free platform, and we just add ads. We add ads into the platform. We have a high number of monthly active users, so we are going to monetize on the ads and on the freemium experience. And listen, it didn't work, right? Like users hated the ads. Even though I was giving them a free experience, they were still like didn't want to see an ad when they were connecting to DUPR. So we learned, hey, user experience should go above like early monetization. We also did sponsorships, right? We have the biggest database in the sport. So if you are Nike or Adidas or any company in the space and want to sell your products, right? Like we have the biggest database of like who is playing, where are they playing, what shoe are they using, what paddle are they using. So we did a lot of sponsorships. But when you're working in technology, the name of the game is recurrent revenue, right? That's what you truly want. That's the real value of any technology platform. It's not just money that is coming in through a sponsor, like a big chunk, 7-figure deal. That's great, cool, that helps you pay your bills. But when you're going and talking to a venture capital, when you're talking to anyone, right, when it comes to real value, it's how much are you bringing constantly into the business, right? Annual recurrent revenue and monthly recurrent revenue. That's the name of the game. Right. So right now we know that, listen, we are the rating. People are obsessed with this number. It's freaky obsessed. Like you can go on the forums, they will rip me apart. They love it. Right. So I think the pathway is the key aspect for us. Right. We want to make sure that we're building different tiers for your levels of obsession. Right. Like we have the free, like everyone can use with the rating, so on, obviously top of the funnel. But now we want to monetize on the pathway, how to go from a 3.5 to a 4.0, like AI video, like what other components can we be adding to beef up the different tiers within the business, and then give so many benefits that it's a no-brainer for the consumer to be like, hey, listen, I'm going to pay $30, but I'm getting 8 things worth of value right here that it's so stupid not to be on a premium subscription with DUPR. So that's what we're creating right now. We threw all of the things to the wall. We thought about B2B at some point, but we are very clear at this stage what our top of the funnel is, what our premium subscription is, and what our super premium subscription is going to be for the people that are obsessed with it.
Splendid. And so for so the 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 amateur player pays for the Duper subscription, but for your partnerships, for the partnerships which you mentioned before, do they pay as well, Duper or
No, no.
players?
So I've always this is an obsession of mine. Okay, I believe that the best again, the only way I've been able to make sure that I am the only player in the rating space is by doing by partnering up with all of the other platforms. Right, some of them had ratings, so I told them, hey, you're an event management platform, so do what you do good, which is event management. Let me be the rating. So what I mean by that is, like, by doing that, I've really created this protection network, but also we've we help them. We help them grow. We go to the consumer. We put them in front of all of our users. So it's really created the ecosystem. What I mean by that is, like, I have a B2B to C top of the funnel model. You access DUPR through all of the 300 platforms, and that's what those platforms help me. You get your account through those platforms, and now once the user is coming in, I am monetizing their pathway through the rating and their experience.
Splendid, splendid. Thank you. And could you also help us to explain how the celebrity investor flywheel supported the growth of Duper, as our audience finds it interesting to understand the backing from celebrities and superstars?
Yeah, man. Listen, I think again, it's as I always mention. In everything in life, you need right timing, right momentum, a little bit of lag, and the ability to execute, right? But one of the things that happened is that Duper was founded with Major League Pickleball. We were the same company. Major League Pickleball is a celebrity league. Or celebrity owner league, right? So when all of this happened, we were selling teams to celebrity owners, like, LeBron James bought a team, Tom Brady bought a team, like, you had all of these big names coming in, and we have some of the most impressive cap tables in the world when it comes to names. Andre Agassi is the face of Duper. So what happened was, like, by selling the teams, they bought a piece of Duper as well. And listen, man, at the end of the day, that really helped us. Not only Duper, it helped the sport. I said at the beginning that when people were betting on Pickleball or on Duper, they were betting on Pickleball. And by betting on Pickleball, you're getting Duper, right? So that just gave us true. It made it feel real, right? It was a real thing now. Like, if Mark Cuban is buying a team in Pickleball, the guy knows business, right? This is real. This might not be a joke. So if LeBron James, if Tom Brady, if, like, Andre Agassi, like, all of these guys are doing all of these things, this might be true. So that just creates a wave of, like, people, FOMO, right? We live in a FOMO world. Everything you see in today's world is FOMO, right? Like, you start seeing that someone did something, you want to try it. I want to play pickleball. This is not a joke anymore. Now this is cool. Now this is a phenomenon. So that's what allowed us to kind of, like, use that wave of names of people that were giving us real recognition to make sure that it was a real thing. We idea to the fastest growing sport in the world.
Splendid, splendid. And to dive into the next phases of Duper, there was recently announced from Apollo Sports Capital more than $200 million investment in Major League Pickleball and the pickleball space. What does that mean for new entrants into the space and current businesses like Duper for the growth of the company?
Yeah, listen, we were, in the press release, you see Duper is one of the, affiliate companies with Apollo as well. And at the end of the day, I think this comes back to the same thing, right? Whenever you are investing in an industry, capital groups are investing in AI, it's a good sign that this is an industry that you might want to invest and put money in, right? Apollo is one, but there's gonna be other players that are gonna want to come in and keep adding fuel. So listen, everything that when you see that big players who have invested this amount of money in this industry, it means it's a healthy industry. It takes the message back to every single player, every single club, every single investor from the past, and gives them a real feeling of like, I did the right thing. This is the real deal. I should keep putting money because this is gonna hit. So what this means for the industry is like new investors, new people with idea, new people with technology. They shouldn't be afraid that this is kind of like, well, this is done. Like enough players are in the game. No, it means that if the dog is barking, which my dog is actually barking, it means that maybe you should go and attend it, and maybe you should start putting your money into this space because a lot of people are seeing that there is a lot of value. So, we want to keep this coming. We want to keep the investment coming, the ideas, the innovation, the technology. And that's what we're going to see in the next years. The cool thing, in my opinion, is that it's not going to be hype ideas. It's not going to be like, it's going to be, now we're going to start seeing the real people thinking, I need to solve this problem and come up with those new, really exciting things.
Splendid. And for the last question of our audience, would these professional investors and institutions like Apollo bring, operational improvement in this space? And what is one area that support could be useful in?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Apollo, for example, is going to be very supportive of the professional game, and at the end of the day, again, the pro game was almost joked about, right? No one believed in it. No one was like you. I mean, listen, again, I'm a football guy, right? I'm an old school guy in that sense. That's what I watch. I go on, every weekend I go and watch my team Barcelona, and then I watch Premier League, and then I watch any game that you put on the. I'm gonna be there in the sofa just watching every single game. That's what I love. So the fans and the passion. So for a lot of people, creating that experience from scratch seemed impossible. No one, like, this is what I used to hear all the time. No one is gonna pay to watch pickleball. No one is gonna watch it on TV. No one is gonna do this. What we're seeing is that stadiums are packed. More people are coming. The events are amazing. Ticket sales are up. More people are watching on TV. There's a documentary that came out on YouTube, amazing, from called Partnerships with the PPA that had it's millions of viewers watching that. So I think the whole point is bringing this big organizations that have done it and seen it before, that they bring that expertise on how on execution, right? And ups the level. Every single time the level is going to go higher and higher and higher. So that's the beauty of what's happening. It's only the beginning. Now we're going to start seeing the real potential come out.
Splendid. Tito, thank you so much for being a part of the Sport Businessman podcast, introducing the story of DUPR, your entrepreneurial success in the space, the growth of DUPR and pickleball, how professional investors like Apollo are going to create value in the space, and also where entrepreneurs can create value in the space from the advice of Tito. So it was an honor to host you on the Sport Businessman podcast today, and we wish the best of luck and many more pickleball games of success for DUPR.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's been a pleasure.